Holy crap, man. Isn't Mike Perry just like the ultimate motivation, guys? We're just super fortunate to have Mike as like a part of like our team and like just to be a little sentimental, like the privilege of being around great people makes us better, right? And so don't forget what you guys are a part of, what we're a part of here at Market Cipher. We are champions and champions in the making. And Mike Perry is, man, he's family, man. He's been working so hard, killing it. And I needed a way to motivate you guys getting into this stream. So thank you, Mike. Shout out to Mike Perry. And today's a cool stream because I'm bringing our other brother. There's Crypto Face, there's FloppingGroper, but there's also Crypto Guy on the internet. And he's helped us with our tutorials. He does things like in the background for us that you guys don't really see. So I'll bring him on and pump his channel, get him some subscribers, and we're gonna talk about some things that I'm seeing in the charts. So I think the theme of this stream is definitely patience, guys. I had a tweet just recently, and in the tweet I said, "You aren't wasting time, you're buying time, and patience pays every time." So what I'm like specifically referencing and what makes me think that tweet is like I'm in the VIP and I see people wanting to short like throughout the weekend. Like people are saying, "Oh, the liquidity's taken, it's time, like this party's got to come to an end." And I'm just thinking like, why the hurry? Like why are we in such a rush to cast doubt on this move to the upside when we haven't even started the new weekly period until now? So that's why I'm starting the stream, because we are now in the new weekly period. We just got that the Monday candle that just printed, and so now is the time that I start to look for positions, guys. So in my last stream with Bitcoin, we talked about weekly indecision, and look what happened, guys. We got a second week of indecision. So this is 2 weeks of indecision here, two kind of green closing dojis, and the call that I made last week of indecision ended up playing out, right? Because the next following week was an indecision week. So that was just the environment that we were in. But since it's a new weekly period, a lot of shorts have stacked up to the upside here. And dare I say it, this might be how Bitcoin gets to like 125K, which is a really strong psychological resistance that you think we would have caught back here on the last pump. So these 25K doubters, I would say that in the next day or two, hopefully they get wiped out, and then there really is a nice short back down to the previous weekly VWAP, which for us right now is down at like 116.2, but this will be right like rising with time. So there's no need to rush into a short, and we're gonna go over all the altcoins, all that stuff. But let me bring my brother on real quick, and I'll introduce him. So let me know
Good
if you can
evening,
hear me.
everybody.
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, this is Crypto Guy on the internet, or Crypto Guy OTI for short. I'm the mysterious third brother, and some of you have seen my videos before. A lot of folks thought I was just Crypto Face or copying him or like an AI voice of him. No, I'm a third guy, so I'm happy to be here, and maybe I can add something useful.
Hell yeah, man. So little backstory. CF and Crypto Guy OTI are my half brothers, so they're both my older brothers. And growing up, Crypto Guy OTI was the one I looked up to the most, you know. And so, man,
Aw.
we've always been good friends. We're always playing video games together, always talking about politics, always like, agreeing really closely on things. And I seen you using the leapfrog and like making good calls with that, and it makes me like so happy that like my family gives a crap about what I talk about. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. Your VWAP strategy is fantastic, and I've been sharing that every video lately because it's been 9 out of 10 months in a row. It's been my strongest move at the start of a month was using your VWAP strategy.
It's been the same way for me, man. So like, anytime someone gives it the credit that it deserves, it makes me so happy because I get that it's my duty to make millions of dollars with this system and show you guys how it's done. And I'm working on it, man. Like I'm headed in that direction. But man, anybody who helps me out along the way, I got nothing but love for you. And whether it's my brother working with VWAPs or it's you guys in the chat, if you guys need help or you have questions, like you can ask me. Like that's what you guys are paying for when you joined my VIP. You guys have been supporting me for like the last 2 years, and you've seen these moves and you see how things go down. So that's pretty much that, man. But what do you think, bro? I'm down to screen share, or you could just free flow. What's your thinking? But what's your kind of thoughts going into or coming out of the weekend, going into the next week of price action?
Well, I was telling you earlier, I was looking at CME futures for Bitcoin. If you want to bring that up,
Okay.
you got it on the right there, BTC1.
Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. And you have
And
to
then
do
switch to
standard candles.
regular.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
do Heikin-Ashi.
Okay, you see that
Ooh,
gap?
okay.
Yeah, we got to answer that. So if you're in a long right now, enjoy it, but I would take profits aggressively until we resolve that gap.
Got you. Okay, and
Because
yeah.
we also have CPI and PPI data this week. And so I think the market will be a little hesitant until we get those numbers. So Tuesday, we get consumer price index. And then Thursday, we get producer price index. And that'll set the tone for us.
I agree with that, man. This is lining up nicely with where the weekly VWAPs will be, if that makes sense. Like, because these things are
Mm-hmm.
going to get dragged up as Bitcoin continues up a little bit more and liquidates these shorts. It's going to eventually top out probably like tomorrow or Tuesday with that CPI data. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's probably going to just start working its way down to the previous weekly VWAP, which is probably going to be come up a little bit, and it might even just tap off the top of this gap and not fully fill it. But as long as it does like a 618 or sorry, a 618 retracement, then like as long as it gets like mostly as long as it mostly fills the gap, you consider it filled. So a tap on top of the gap or the consequent encroachment, that's the midline of the gap there. Definitely like a good target. Not to short and like hope it goes there right now, but what I'm waiting for is like major liquidity sweep, and then I need to go on the 10-minute chart and I need to see a 10-minute Heikin-Ashi. So I like that level, man. Basically, the CME gap is just floating above our weekly view up. So we go back to the Bitcoin chart, and yeah, it's around this like 117K area down here. This is ripe for the picking for you guys. So yeah, and you guys can tell we're brothers because we sound the same. And I would say that I'm like a maybe a mixture of CF and Crypto Guy OTI because I'm the youngest brother. But
Yeah, you're like the mid-level between us.
yeah.
But you can tell we're brothers when we do like we do some kind of voice or something. You can tell that we're the same dude.
Oh,
But then
yeah.
you could also look at the liquidation heat map, and there's a bunch of money to take
Uh-huh.
to the downside. So,
All right,
um,
let's take a look here. I'm on the stream and I'm looking up Bitcoin. Yep, there's definitely a lot of liquidity. Ooh, look at that, guys.
uh-huh.
Right above 117. Big hot pockets. I want to call my mom, tell her to bring me hot pockets and a toilet to poop in because I don't want to leave my computer for the next 12 hours because I'm looking for the short down to this into this liquidity. But like I said, the theme of the stream is patience. Patience pays, and we're not wasting time hanging around just blabbing and yapping. We're buying time. I'm buying time right now, and I'm like deliberately waiting because I want all you people to get stopped out first, and then I'll take my short. So yeah, man, and it may not even be Bitcoin. Bitcoin may not even be the coin that I actually short. it may be like a different coin. Like I gotta honestly go through all these coins and like it depends. Like here I'm looking at Sui. So if Sui happens to like sweep the high here, and then I see a 10-minute hike in Ashi like tomorrow morning, you know, that I would take that short back all the way down to the previous week to date. So, you know, something like that, it's just an 8% move right there.
Mhm.
So it's the VWAP trades, the weekly leaps are an interesting way to trade. I never really thought of it this way, but someone brought it up to me in a YouTube comment the other day. They're asking like, what bigger time frame backup do you have to justify this trade? Because they're thinking that, oh, maybe there's a bearish daily wave, or like they're thinking what big time frame market cipher time frame like has my back. And that's actually not how I plan these trades. It's like time. The timing is the most important part. Like I wait for the Monday candle and I just target liquidity. There's actually like no need for me to like have any like large time frame backup, but having the large time frame backup, you know, it can help. For instance, you know, knowing that on these bigger time frames we are a little bit far from these lower levels down here is nice. Like we came out the gate of Q3 pretty much only going up, so and then we took liquidity on Bitcoin, like we broke all-time highs. So all the bears got wrecked. So if things did get worse, I would see why. But that this isn't dictating my profit taking. Like my profit taking is way down on like the 10-minute when we just hit the weekly VWAP and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's kind of a different way to trade. It's like time period interval based, VWAP based, waiting for people to get stopped out. And I'm gonna get better at explaining it. But you guys have been trading with me in the Discord for a while, so you know my game. And the days that I take trades outside of this system are usually the days that I struggle with the most. Like I either have to revenge trade myself out of a loss or it just goes bad in general. But the more I stick to my system, the better I do. So that's like my duty to you guys, is to like show that it works until it's like it's obvious. It should be obvious that we come into the new week looking for stop losses. And then once those stop losses get hit, we trade in the opposite direction, right? So right now, I would say that on Bitcoin, all the stop losses are at like 125 or right above the high. But I could totally see this pumping up to you know, up here. But ultimately, I'm just going to be waiting for a 10-minute hike in Ashi to form. So I'm looking at this 10-minute hike in Ashi. If I see a red candle all of a sudden look like this, where there's no top wick and it just looks like that and it's red, that to me is a nice bearish sign. And then I look to market cipher. Are we divergent? You know, is market cipher giving me the backup that I desire? You can see right now on some of these time frames we're still fanned to the upside, so it's very early to be shorting. So that's why I like to wait for the 10-minute candle confirmation, because shorting this is tough. You know, shorting this is tough, but if you wait for that red candle, it works out a lot better for you. And the orders are flowing in the direction of your trade, and you end up saving a lot of time. Because what happens if this, yeah, maybe it'll go down, but what if it's like sideways for like 6 hours, you know, and you're just in that trade, biting your nails, like cringing, waiting for this thing to finally come down. Whereas if you just waited for like the one red candle right here, the red momentum candle, then you save a lot of time and a lot of headache. So you know, that's how I approach this stuff. And
It's a good approach.
I personally don't like this current level. Like when I zoom out a little, there's clearly a level right here that I would like to see taken to get like the best price possible for that. And if you're patient, the risk reward gets even better. Like if we wait for that breach of the high, and then we see 10-minute hike in Ashi, let's say it's up here. Let's say it wicks up to like 125, but then quickly settles back down to like back into like the 123s, right? So at that point, you got to put your stop above that 125K wick, and then you target the previous weekly VWAP. And that pretty much right there is your bearish weekly leapfrog trade.
So that's your move for the week. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. And it may take till Tuesday. Like, we may pump and it may not work out until Tuesday when the CPI data comes. But that's pretty much how I plan my trades. Like, I don't just come in and enter whenever I feel like it. I enter when, like, my system tells me to. So,
That's right.
yeah, man. How have your trades been going?
All over the place. So I was super upside down, and then things swung in my direction, and I have some, let's see here, hedge shorts that have a lot of margin, and once Bitcoin tops out at 123, 124, and we start seeing that rollover, I'll probably add a little bit to those shorts just to get out of them. But I'm doing all right.
Nice. Yeah, I had so my weekly leap from the last stream, I gave you guys trade setups in the last stream, and it took a while for those entries to hit, but they did hit, and then Bitcoin ended up moving. It ended up moving to the previous weekly VWAP. I'll show you guys real quick. And then we'll get into Ethereum, we'll get into Bitcoin, but let me just real quick show you guys the last stream's weekly leap. I'll put a anchored VWAP on. Let's see, I think it was this guy. Back here, let's see. I don't think that was it. I'm kind of like spacing out here, but anyways, it was like this. It was this move right here. Like, we came down, we swept this little, see this little nodule of like 10-minute structure right here. This little like doji candle right there. So I didn't like, I mean, I was targeting the low as well for a potential long if that level didn't hold, but I was kind of feeling like we would just tag that level and then start moving back up to the weekly VWAP and see how we did go up there and hit that level. So when I streamed to you guys last Sunday, we were like right here. This was last Sunday, and it looked like we were just going to go straight there, right? But I didn't just blow smoke up your guys' asses and say we're going straight to 117. I was putting down like responsible long entries at key levels, particularly this one right here. And the trade that I like provided you guys last week was this guy right here. You put your stop behind the low and you target that previous weekly VWAP. See how that was like a nice 3-to-1? So this is the play we're talking about. And I don't conceptualize this trade until Sunday night. And so Sunday night, right at this time that we're talking right now, this is like this time, right? So it's like, it's a good time to go to the charts and plan a trade, but it may not automatically be the best time to execute a trade because you want to get a good price and you want to see people getting wrecked, just like Mike Perry in the ring. You know, you want to enter the ring with your opponent already tired. If your opponent starts the fight on the 5th round and you start the fight completely fresh, you're going to win every time. So if you wait for the enemy to be tired before you enter, you have a much better shot of succeeding. So
I've noticed that too, especially with Monday mornings, like the pre-market or like the hour after open, you get this wild move in one direction and you jump in with that pile and then you get wrecked when it corrects. So just let the initial fray wear itself out in the first round and then you pick your spot.
correct. And if you guys are liking this content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and in the description, you should find a link to Crypto Guy on the Internet's YouTube as well. So go ahead and follow him. And so we just went over last week's weekly leap just to show you guys that like price really does like to go back to the previous week's VWAP. It's just a matter of finding the best price possible. And if you once you catch a few of those really, really good like swing failure pattern entries, and it's like a big 8, 9, 10% move back to last week's VWAP, you start getting pickier and you start asking more of the price action before you enter a trade. And it just builds your patience. It helps you to not overtrade by having such a specific and perfectly timed trading system. So, that's it's my job to show it. But shit, man, if I get rich enough making this shit, I'm gonna stop showing it, because I will have had so many videos and so many tutorials at that point that if you can't do it too, well then shit, man. I don't know if I can help you at that point. But looking at ETH, ETH is actually showing signs that the short is like already commencing. Let me show you guys something here. So where's my weekly? Oh my lord! So I have to like move my chart just to see last week's VWAP on Ethereum. And whenever there's a gap this big, let's measure this gap, guys. That's a pretty big gap for Ethereum, guys. So 9%. So I'm not saying it has to go down to this level, but over time this VWAP's going to pull up. Maybe it's at 4,000 by the time Ethereum comes down to it. But look what's already happened on ETH. Is we had this high here, a local high, and then we did in fact get a red momentum candle. So this is actually triggering my strategy right here. I'm a little late to it already at this point, but see how it's got a bearish daily leapfrog here? So like we just got a new daily VWAP. It may actually go down to yesterday's VWAP, and that could be a start of something like this, that 9% dump there. But you do want to take your, lock in some profits at 2 to 1. So 2 to 1 would just be the conclusion of this daily leap. At this point, I would close half just in case ETH really is still super duper strong. Because if you zoom out on Ethereum, the overall picture on Ethereum is, look, there's another level that everybody and their mother is defending, and it's higher than people think. It's this old all-time high, which I get that people think that ETH is probably just going to dump from where it's at now, but Bitcoin is not topped out yet, right? Bitcoin has like a couple more hours or like one more day of pumping. So what if ETH does too? So this is something I want you guys to ingrain, is like when you're looking at these altcoin trades, make sure Bitcoin agrees with you first, right? Like if Bitcoin all of a sudden is like, oh shit, this is definitely going back to last week's VWAP, then you look at your altcoin charts and you see what's up, because the altcoins are a little more fidgety. Like they actually can have a mind of their own a lot. And I'm a little worried about, well, I'm not worried. I'm hopeful that ETH comes and just boop, just spikes up to like over 5K. And then we start seeing 10-minute hike in a Shees on like Monday or Tuesday. And oh my gosh, that would be an insane short back down to the weekly VWAP. So let me put that level on my chart. So I'm holding out on ETH for like this crazy move right here, unless like Bitcoin all of a sudden looks like a very convincing bearish weekly leap all of a sudden in the next 12 24 hours. But see this level 48, this old all-time high, this is a level I'm looking at on ETH for it to come over, tag, stop people out, and then I see 10-minute hike in Ashi, and then we trade all the way back down to last week's VWAP. Let me measure that move. So if we were to come up here, and ETH does this shit, guys, it'll like moon and spike. It has like God candles sometimes. But if it does that, if it does some crazy shit like that, you're looking at a potential 20% crash on Ethereum if we break the all-time high. So that's a potential juicy opportunity I'm looking at. I know some of you guys are like already long on ETH. Down here, I'm personally waiting for that weekly mean reversion back down, but a lot of you guys are taking these like longs and hopping in on this liquidity sweep type move because you want to profit on these longs, and there's nothing wrong with that because we're in a big uptrend, so you're just going with the trend, catching these longs. So more power to you. If anything, I'm the weirdo for once a week coming and shorting the one time it goes down. You know what I'm saying? So you guys are normal. I'm the weirdo around here. But catching up with the chats. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, were there any charts that chat wants to look at?
Yeah, Tide Shift wants me to look at FARTCOIN. You want to take a peek at FARTCOIN and tell me what you're seeing, bro?
I'm getting fucked both ways with that coin right now.
All
I'm
right.
like, pick a direction, dude. All right, let's see here. Okay, when you turn 40, every fart is a risk, and trading it is exactly the same way. So I have a warning at $1, but I'm looking to close out along from like 102 at that initial dump was, what was that, 131-ish?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to catch up to that, but Fartcoin doesn't really have the pull that it used to. So I might just let this one go with a small profit, but um, I'm waiting for that money to roll downhill to the shitcoins if Ethereum can maintain its strength.
That's a good take, man. Like I have Pepe on my watch list here because Pepe is one that I'm definitely looking as like a potential wild card if ETH gets crazy. So I have been looking at it. You can see that Pepe just had a monthly leap. See, we pumped from the white line to the teal line. So we just pumped from this new monthly VWAP back to last month's. And that's the same move that I wanted to happen on FART. You can see here that FART, we got a new month here on August 1, but we had already settled down on the red Q2 anchor. And I was telling you guys there's a really nice like monthly leapfrog here. Look how big that move was, guys. A 25% move. When you're on the 1 minute chart on FART, this move's just like doesn't even look possible. It looks like mind blowing. Like how the hell does FARTCoin get up there in a relative amount of time? But you can see that we started moving up there. Now, would I hop in this and have FOMO and try to catch the rest of this move? Hell no. In fact, we've already run very far from the weekly VWAP. Like if I measure where we're at right now, we're already like 9-10% away from last week's VWAP. And personally, this monthly leap never really gave me the entry that I wanted. Like I wanted this level to be swept down here, and I wanted us to hit this lifetime cluster of supports, and then I was going to trade back up to the July VWAP. So that was like, sometimes your ideas don't happen. Sometimes your trades don't come to you, and you just move on to a chart that fits your understanding better. So personally, I haven't been messing too much with FART. I think I caught a long. I did flex a little like FARTCoin long, but I took profits on that, and like I'm not in that anymore.
I was
But
sleeping like an idiot when it went to 114. I entered it at 102 or something like that. I could have just closed out a bunch, but now we're kind of threatening a round trip,
yeah,
retouching our previous weekly VWAP. So, what
yeah,
are you
it
gonna do?
looks like if I was a noob who just started with VWAPs, I would say, "Ooh, it's in the middle of a monthly leap," and I would
Yeah, you
FOMO
don't want to
into
enter
this,
from here.
and I would
No,
FOMO into this. That was the old me.
yeah.
The new me waits for old me to get wrecked. If this thing did crash down, take that low and plunge into these supports, and then it started doing this, this is like generational bottom, like life-changing long shit. Like turn
Mhm.
$100 into like $3,000 type shit. But yeah, so I guess that's my take on fart. Hoping for better opportunity. Seems like this one's kind of run its course, and like we're in a new week now, and it might just like kind of grind back down. Especially like look at the 5 MA. This 5-day MA, this black area in the background was going down, and so we're pretty much like overall downsloped. And yeah, we come up a little bit, but we're pumping up out of like an overall declining 5-day MA. So Fart's got a little bit of work to do to repair this trend, and that monthly leap, the previous monthly leap, is downsloped. So moving on to the next one, man. Love the chart recommendations. We're gonna look at KASPA real quick. Do you know anything about KASPA, brethren, or no?
Not a thing. I don't even have it on my watch list, but I'll do Sol, ADA, and XRP after this. Go for it.
Well, it looks like KASPA didn't have much of a monthly leap opportunity this month. So, it's when I look at crypto charts for potential trades, I like a big gap between things. So this looks like it's kind of run its course a little bit. Let's see. New week comes in, 5% OAC. For a shitcoin, it's like you're hoping for a bigger gap, but even Ethereum has a bigger gap back to the previous week to date than KASPA. Also, KASPA's in. I do like how the 5-day MA has pulled up a bit on KASPA. It's actually in a nice, like, solid uptrend right here. So, you know, while it's stuck in this kind of net of VWAP, it's like in a VWAP gulag down here. But I would say that after like a little bit of a pullback, like down into the rising 5MA, maybe you get a lucky entry at that previous week to date VWAP and this 5-day uptrend continues. Like, that would be cool. But just be mindful that it's got a bearish weekly leap on it. So I would say no need to FOMO on KASPA quite yet. There might be a nice dip later in the week for you. But you know, it does have, it's very undersold in relation to last week's VWAP. I'm not going to leave this chart without mentioning this. If KASPA did repair the sentiment over the last year, and it did come all the way up here and reclaim this year to date, that is a pretty sizable 25% move. So I don't know much about KASPA, but if you like the project, it's got an ascending 5MA and a long ways to go before it would be considered overhyped. It's very underhyped compared to last year's year-to-date VWAP. And Coinbase Boomer wants me to look at Solana. Okay. Solana coming out the gate. Look, we come out the gate of a new month, this white line here, and we end up having that play back up to the previous month. So a nice little monthly leapfrog there, and it sent us in the right direction on Solana. Solana also has a nice, strong, ascending 5MA. It is staring a bearish weekly leap in the face, about a 6% move there. So if you're prudent or if you're patient, you might get a pullback down there at the start of this week. But let's see if there's any upper levels here. Now, Solana is like kind of lagging behind. Even though it's reclaiming yearly VWAPs, like see it reclaim the year to date. So it's currently, it's putting the work in right now, honestly. Like, this is a huge VWAP cluster. It's like every VWAP ever is tagging and teaming up together to keep Solana down. So once
I'm pretty bullish on Solana. If you can turn those VWAPs into support, you have uncleared yellow X's on Market Cipher A starting at 199 and going all the way up to 279, reaching back to January of this year. So I mean, if Solana can break through those, you got a lot of profit to take ahead of you. If you're in like a spot hold or like a super low leverage long that you just let ride,
yeah,
I like Solana right now. But yeah, first thing I'd be looking for is that weekly retest down to like 174, 175. I have a little alert on my trading view in case that happens because I want to add a little long there.
I'm with that take, man. Yeah, I think that it'll locally top out here in the next like day or so, and then you're gonna get that bearish weekly leap down back at just a retest of the teal line, the like and the week to date, the orange line. It's gonna hit down there at like 175, and then it's probably off to the races, and we probably chop up through this gulag again. And if there is like an alt season and things get even more hypey and shit, like it's gonna happen. Like Solana's gonna reclaim this gulag and come back to life, which will be exciting. So that's something I'm looking at. I do like how when Q3 began, let's see, where's Q3 start of start of Q3's here. We started at the Q2 VWAP, so there was already like a quarterly bearish leap right at the start for Solana. Then we get some price discovery. We show that Solana is still alive, that it still has some bite left in it. But then we got to come back to Earth. So we retap the Q2 VWAP again. And this is a strong retest. This is a structural, like very meaningful retest. Like we went back to the previous quarter, hit it and confirmed it as strong support, and we're on our way up. So we're in a strong 5-day uptrend. We're just chopping through a lot of volume. There's a lot of traders with a lot of opinions about Solana in this region. But I guarantee you, if we broke 190, a lot of the haters and naysayers get silenced. So the sentiment will shift if Solana breaks over 180 to 200 bucks. And everyone will be saying to buy it. Nobody told you to buy it back here when we were... Look, nobody told you at the start of Q2 to target the liquidity and long back up to the previous quarter's VWAP. If you guys follow this channel, we talk about moves like this. A new quarter starts, just like how my weekly moves. I wait for people to get stopped out and then I trade back to the last week's VWAP. Same deal with quarters. So if a new quarter opens, you know, you wait for everyone to get stopped, you at this level right here, and that is your entry back to the previous quarter's VWAP. So, and that big swing played out. So it's not as convincing this quarter, but sometimes you get quarters like this where like the quarter opens and it's super far away from, look, a 50% move from the Q1 VWAP. So whenever you get a quarterly junction like that, that's like an insane trade. I would say anything happening right now, at least based on VWAPs, you know, there's nothing huge cooking right now on Solana. It's just slowly chopping up and it might just turn giga bullish again on its own. But
how's Sol ETH looking?
Let's take a look, man. How is Sol trending against?
Like, are we getting a bounce back yet on that?
Ethereum?
It's been pretty lopsided. Oh dear.
I would say to not catch this knife. You know, when I look at this chart, guys, you know, it's very tempting because you don't want to be late to like a narrative, a Sol narrative, but just trade what you see, right? So if we are in this overall 5-day downtrend, you might not, I mean, look what happened to everybody who tried to call the bottom on that the entire way down, you know? So waiting for the 5-day MA to curve back up, you don't miss out on much and you reduce your risk a shit ton. The monthly VWAP is also sloped down. All these VWAPs are sloped down on this pair. So, you know, you could buy the knife and bet on a Sol narrative, but that's your prerogative as someone who kind of tells people what I'm thinking and other people believe in me. Like, I want to be bullish on charts that, like, I have data that suggests that I should believe in it. So this is kind of bearish, man. What do you think?
If we zoom out, I mean, like on the daily or even the weekly, we're approaching a bunch of volume in the high threes, like 3.7 to 4 even. I'm going to set an alert right around that zone. See if you use that as support. But this is pretty vague. I don't really trade on, you know, charts like this, but
you know, we are weekly oversold. You know, we're on the weekly chart here. We got thick red Heiken with not even any sign of slowing down on the weekly. So, I mean, shit, even just a doji, anything, you know, wait for anything to formulate here before you start getting more bullish on Sol than you are on ETH. That's what I would say.
Right. I need some evidence first.
Don't be a maverick.
To check out.
Yeah, don't be a maverick, you know.
But, I don't need to be at the tip of the spear. I'm just some dude.
Yeah. You don't need to be the first guy coming out the boats on D-Day. It's like let Samson go first and get killed by the Nazis, and then we'll go. You know, but
hang back like an officer first. Yeah, just yell some orders. Okay.
Yeah, and also the 618 retracement just doesn't do me that good anymore, man. Like it's all about the 786. Like the 618, the 618 ETA I feel like got nerfed, and it's always like the 786. So like if this pair came all the way down to its 786 from the like low right here, and sort of testing this little notch right here, and all these lows got taken, and then we start seeing Hike and Ashi pulling up again and shit. Like there's good signs on the horizon, but you just don't want to rush it.
Did the Sol ETF work out? I haven't been following that. Is that a thing?
I don't know, but I think ETFs for every crypto is a lot like railroad mania from like the 1800s. Like if you just approve every railroad, that doesn't like help society. It just like you'll just end up with a railroad going straight through the Capitol building, like using taxpayer dollars. There's like a train blaring while you're trying to pass legislation because you just passed every railroad that wanted to, because you had all these people's money and you like didn't know what to do with all of it. And like Next thing you know, you've just got railroads everywhere, and like no one needs that many railroads. Like we only need 2 freaking railroads to like transfer food and shit to where people need. So, do we need that many crypto ETFs, bro? I don't think so. I think it's like watering down what a crypto ETF is. And let's see what happens to people's retirement money first with like the like ETH and Bitcoin before we start getting like FARTCOIN ETFs and shit.
Uh-huh.
That's
Okay.
just my take. But
And
you
then
know,
I'm just looking for reasons to give a shit about Solana. So they just launched their phone, which why are they doing that? But hey, if you make a couple of bucks, go for it. Um, but yeah, it's all ETH for now until further notice.
yeah. But keep
But
an eye
either
on
way,
Sol. Don't look
yeah,
away. Keep looking at it. Because
I'm
it's
still in a stink. I'm looking for a Solana long if we just retest that previous weekly, which is not very far away. So um,
yeah.
I'm just looking for an excuse for it to blast off to 200 plus. It'd be nice.
All right, that's a good. I think that was a good take, man. Let's see what else we got here. Let's look at ADA. ADA's like
Mm-hmm.
not on my hot list, but I pull it up every now and then. Um, I know. Shout out to Crypto Crow, who just won like best altcoin influencer because he, in the official tweet, they were like he never shuts up about Cardano. I thought that shit
Oh,
was
he's still doing
hilarious.
it. God
Yeah.
bless him.
But
Dude, I'm older than Charles Hoskinson. He looks like my dad.
oh
I don't
my gosh,
understand.
those crypto
That's all that
founders,
respects.
man, they man, if they just like went to the gym, like more people would believe in their fake internet money.
I don't know. Vitalik might be part alien too. He hasn't convinced me he's not.
Yeah, man. So looking at ADA, ADA actually is overcoming its VWAP gulag here. This is a recent development. Let's check the
Oh.
weekly. I do see weekly momentum climbing and like not tired at all. So, this new weekly candle, this just printed. So you don't want to have printing bias and like see this as super bullish because this is an unconfirmed candle. Up until today, it's actually been a little bit worrisome with these Heikin here. These are kind of like indecisive slash bearish Heikin. So it's up to ADA to sustain at these levels. I am a little worried that it'll just simply sweep this high up here, and then you go on the 10-minute chart and you get a 10-minute entry back down to the weekly VWAP. So you target a liquidity sweep of that high, you wait for a 10-minute Heikin, you put your stop above whatever that new high is, and you target, boom, down there, a 3-to-1 trade right there. Bet your whole life savings on it, and if it doesn't work out, you can blame me. You can put the blame on me. But that's like an example of like a bearish weekly leap potential idea. And I have been known to take like altcoin trades, but look at it. It's in a strong 5-day uptrend, so I'm definitely like not holding on to any shorts. Like I would be taking profits aggressively at 2-to-1 and then letting some ride for that bearish weekly leap, but not really getting too attached because it actually looks to be in a nice, pretty bullish environment here. What are you thinking, man?
Thinking along the same lines. That's a good take.
Yeah, there is another high up here. This is like if this
Mhm.
you never really know what it's going to look like until you see it, guys. Like if this blasts up, don't just stink bid the short. Like I don't do that. This thing could continue wicking up super high, and look, now it takes this high over here. And then this level may be the high that you see that 10-minute hike in a sheet, and just so happens that you would move this entry back up to something like that. And it actually is, and it's a 5-to-1 now instead of a 3-to-1 because you were patient. So you could either be impatient, try to catch the knife, or you could wait for 10-minute confirmation and potentially catch a better trade up there at that once that level gets swept. So you never know what it's going to look like, but we'll have to see. It does kind of look like on the 30-minute we are a little bit tired already. So I
Is
would
there a
just
reason why you do the 10-minute and not the 15 for your confirmation?
That's a good question. The 10-minute is still a small time frame, so you're still rather quick to the move. But if you notice, like, let's say, like my risk reward is already pretty tight. So I can't really afford a bigger confirmation. Like the 10-minute is like the biggest confirmation that I can even wait for that my risk reward is still worth it. Like
Are
if
you running crazy leverage or something?
no, it's just about the ratio. Like I want the risk reward ratio to be like 3 or more, right? So I'm
Mhm.
not saying I'm going to take this trade, guys, but let's say we come up here, we sweep this little local high on ADA, and then we see like a nice convincing like this kind of candle. See that shit? Like no top wick, strong red, Haikanashi. So you enter right as that thing confirms. You put your stop above the high, and you target last week's VWAP. And so we'll drag that over here. So it'll like kind of look something like that. And look at the risk reward. See how it's only 4-1? So if I used a 30-minute confirmation, this might be even less because I would have been even later to the move. So I mean, it's up to you if you want to wait for more lagging confirmation, but from a bigger time frame backing you up. But I've just had, you guys have seen me nail some pretty decent moves with 10-minute Haikanashi, and it's not that I use 10-minute Haikanashi alone, because if you just take any 10-minute Haikanashi momentum candle, you might get stopped. But if you pair it with the timing of a new week and key levels where you know people are getting stopped, that's when the 10-minute Haikanashi is very useful as a firing off mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a
What was the
nice
next
healthy
chart here?
bounce.
I think it was XRP or something.
Yeah,
Or
let's finish up the round. Let's finish up the big four with XRP here. So let's see. Big time frame, XRP. Momentum still weak here on the daily. How are we looking on the weekly? Weekly still got the room to come up on like the momentum on the weekly and the daily. Like definitely not overextended, not super tired from a momentum standpoint. Believe it or not, like XRP's pumped very hard, but it had a nice cool off. And see on the monthly, it's like a monthly green dot. So this is a lot of momentum coming into XRP. No confirmed like majorly scary 2-week divergence yet, but this we would have to watch, you know, if this could reject at the 60 line on the 2-week, maybe, but you got to see that first. So I would say it's like innocent until proven guilty, honestly. But the 60 line is a common wave rejection level, but I got to see that red dot first, man, because if this thing achieves runaway train mode again, I don't want to be caught catching that knife. You know what I'm saying? So XRP is one of the better coins this season, man. It's holding its levels good. It doesn't get those deep plunges. You know, see like the teal line, we don't dump all the way down to the Q2. We just kind of float up here and then go all the way back up. So it's a very strong coin in that it tends to like only partially plunge and it only kind of partially fill those bigger leapfrog moves.
Can you bring up the 4-hour? How's that looking? Do we still have a green dot on the bottom there, like a small dot?
Yeah, I see. It's had a nice. It's pulled back sooner than a lot of coins back to its like weekly VWAP. Like, see how it's already in the weekend while everything else was like pumping up. XRP was putting the work in and correcting down to this previous weekly VWAP that we're hoping other coins correct to in the next couple of days. So XRP is maybe like a step ahead of the curve by having this little correction ahead of time. And I do see a little trigger wave here on the 4-hour. So now that a new week has spawned, like you're targeting these levels if you want a short. If you are bearish, at least wait to see what you see up here at these highs, because a new week.
I'm looking to long it.
Yeah. If anything, like it's probably got this move, and
easy
who knows
340.
And who knows, it may not slow down. Like you may not get any red candles until it just takes the high. So like. Just be patient on shorting XRP if you're not longing it, because it's in a strong 5-day uptrend here. It's looking good.
Yeah. I'm happy that their case got resolved. That's finally off our back.
Definitely, man. Man, I'm feeling good about this analysis. I'm feeling good about my grasp of what's happening and like my plan to tackle things. I don't feel like a lost little jellyfish floating in the ocean. I definitely feel like I'm not just drifting. I got aim. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you got a strategy that works, so stick with it. Let's do Sui and Tao.
okay.
They've been getting a lot of action. Yeah, I missed the Tao move. Oh man, look at this.
All right. We're looking at Sui real quick. Sui
Okay,
four
Sui, go.
hour, a bullish float over the 5 MA. This is some bullish floating going on. Sui kind of like XRP in that when it does decide to move, it tends to fade those VWAPs. So you can see here, Sui never went down to the red Q2 VWAP. It pretty much floated and just bounced off that year to date, and then it goes up. So not the best environment for like shorting a bunch, but there just might be a local sweep of this high here, and then a little correction down into the ascending 5 MA, but nothing that I'm really looking to hold on to. So yeah. What
If
about
you
you, man?
retrace, yeah, if you go, because we broke a major trend line from January 5th, we broke through that, and we already retested it a couple times on the 4 hour. So now I'm looking for the weekly retest, and if that holds a bounce, yeah, there you go. That you got it right there. I have
Okay.
something similar on my chart,
Okay.
and I'm looking for an easy long from that weekly retest to about 420, and that's real conservative. Overall, I'm pretty bullish with Sui. I don't see why this can't go back to the range highs of like $5.
It's in a confirmed uptrend. Like once we bottomed, it's been higher highs, higher low, and then we look higher high, higher low on the cluster. Like, see this cluster of all this VWAP gulag shit. Now, if we find ourselves back down in there, that's obviously not good for the long term or medium term health of Sui, at least until next quarter. But yeah, right now we're like bullishly bouncing on that net of VWAPs, kind of like one step ahead of like um what was the one that we were looking at? Solana. So Solana is like still contending with this gulag. Sui
Hmm.
is already over it, confirming it as support. So see this move of like breaking out the gulag, confirm as support, continuation. That's like what we want Sol to do. You know, like we want Sol to come out and do that same thing. So
You got your anchor trigger and your money flows coming back on your side here. Where we at? Oh, you're looking at Solana again. Okay, similar chart there. Yeah, just a little behind, but Sui looks strong to me. I like this. I like Sui this month.
yeah, let me see
How's
what's this green dotted line I got here. Oh, this was like this is look at this short I took on this look at this. So this was like an old week, an old short that I took in the VIP. You could see this is my old line and like see this was the
you
level I
friggin'
was looking
stud? Look
at.
at you. What a move.
This is a perfect example of a bearish weekly leap, guys, and the kind of moves I'm talking about is like you tag that level and you don't short down here. You don't just like short this because oh look it's a downtrend. Oh, it's like no, you wait for the people to get wrecked, and then you wait for that confirmation. And on the 10 minute, let's see how good my entry was here. Look, I'm looking for that 10 minute entry. See that shit? The first red candle with no top wick. Usually a good place to take
Jesus
that
Christ.
trade.
Oh,
Yeah,
what an entry.
yeah, it was best trade ever. Best trade ever.
Goddamn, that's a goddamn hero trade. Print it out.
But yeah, man, I'd say it's in the boat as a lot of other things, maybe doing better than most coins. Yep. You might have a pullback into that rising 5 MA if you want to get some good value later in the week.
If you want a greedy entry, yeah, wait for something like that.
And you
Sure,
want to be greedy, man. In these markets, like
absolutely.
there's a new trade every single week. So like,
Yeah.
why are you rushing and FOMOing into things that are already like half played out when
So
there's like a
it's not
new
like this
beginning?
closes. Yeah, you can do it whenever. Just wait. You'll find a better entry. Yeah.
The markets are always open, man. So yeah,
Hmm.
man. No need to get attached to stuff, and everything crashes and pumps and dumps. You get fucked in every which direction, like no matter what you do, especially after a new week. Anybody who's long or short usually gets pushed out on Mondays. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man. What else we got here? What was the other coin you wanted me to look at, man?
Tau, TAO.
Okay.
Yeah. Tau had a hell of a move.
I don't know much about Tau, but it looks like I did some old analysis on this from like last year. Someone asked me to look at this shit coin like probably like a year ago, so I'll delete all my drawings. Looks like around its purple VWAPs, you know, we've been macro sideways, so this is still a macro sideways environment, but I really love this double bottom here on Tau on the macro. I love that it gets that bullish quarterly leap out of Q2 just like most cryptos, and it's putting the work in to reclaim this VWAP gulag. So this is actually, you know, it's looking solid. It's looking like it's fighting through it just like Solana. And with some monitoring, you just see this coming out of that VWAP gulag. You might have a what I would call a momentum play, because you'd be betting on a winner at that point. Like, yeah, you're not longing it down here, which you should have. Maybe you did, but you're still betting on strength. So it's got that going for it.
At the start of the month, I was long Tau from about that local bottom, and I longed it up to, what is this? The VWAP. Let me try to find the date of it. But I ran right into one of those, and I cut out early for an easy profit, and then it just kept on running. That was impressive. Okay, I had the VWAP Monday the 28th, and I jumped in at 338 and then cut out at about 370. So that was a good move, but I could have just let it run further. But that was using your strategy, so I made note of that.
Hell yeah, man. That makes me so happy to hear that
Yeah.
people are it's working for people, because it's been working for me too. So yeah, man, I love this move on Tau. I already told you guys it's looking good now. It's putting the work in, but man, just imagine if you were. I just want you guys to take this knowledge into the future. Whether this reappears a year from now or 2 years from now, I want you guys to remember what happened here on Tau, which is a new month came out, and we swept, or we tried to sweep that low, and basically like the first momentum candle, once we tagged that liquidity, was the move back to the year to date. So we go to the 2025 January 1, and this is a macro trade. This is like, when you have a macro trade in progress, you realize how much easier it makes the rest of your trading. If you don't even have to take this trade. You just simply need to like have this idea in your mind that we have created momentum and flipped after taking liquidity after a new quarter, and it's just simply time to go back to that previous quarter's VWAP there. So this is like a shitty trade. Look, it's like a 1.6 to 1, but at the same time, it's a high confidence trade. So not all low risk reward trades are bad trades. Like, you actually want to get that out of your head, because yeah, the trade may be 1 to 1 or, you know, 2 to 1 or whatever, 1 to 2. But if it's going to play out with high, you know, with a high chance of playing out, like, it's still actually worth taking. Just like how you may bet on a fighter even though there's not as much money in it. You know what I mean? So if you know who's gonna win, then who cares what the, you know, who cares?
Yeah, you don't have to catch a marlin every day. Just any old tuna fish will feed your family sometimes. If you can see an easy one swimming by, just take it. Like that, a move like that is easy. It's not a hero trade. It's not the one you tell your friends, but you're like, I can scoop this up while I'm taking a shit. This is easy.
Yeah, but so I wait for that. I wait for the momentum candles on the 10-minute. That gets me good smaller time frame entries. But for a trade like this, if you want to nail a big life-changing trade, you're gonna have to, like, on a macro scale, target that liquidity sweep, right? Like, you have to be ahead of, you have to know that this level is the level to watch, like back here, back here, back here. Like, you're targeting that level because you know that Q3 is coming or Q2 is coming, right? So it's like we're at the end of Q1 or whatever, and it's like as soon as Q2 begins, I'm looking for just I'm looking to stink bid this level here. And if you can get that entry on that very day, which was April 7th. Let me look what day of the week that was. So April 7th was a Monday. So April 7th was a day just like this, guys, where we were at the turn of a new quarter, and like Sunday evening, it's like you look at the charts and you're like, damn, I'm going to target that macro low. And if you have an understanding of quarterly VWAPs, you realize that this is a 1 to 23 risk reward. Like I don't know of any person on YouTube that is giving you ideas like that, you know? So that's the value of this channel. So yeah, man.
Were there any other charts you guys wanted to go over?
Got Tau, Pump. Someone mentioned Pump. Now this is a giga shitcoin. You can see that, let's see here. Let's do a lifetime VWAP. These VWAPs aren't even accurate because like this isn't, you know, this thing was invented on the 4th of July. So, but you can see its lifetime VWAP. It's, honestly, the volatility has gone down on this. So for how shitty and stinky Pump.FUN is as a idea and as a chart, its volatility is like, you know, only as good as, you know, other shitcoins that may be more trustworthy, in my opinion. It's kind of had a big volatile move, and so now it's chopping in that VWAP gulag. So it may not be worth the risk to mess around with. I personally won't be trading it, but I do like how it bounced off this monthly VWAP region. Looks like it kind of is battling out of a sideways 5 MA, but it could be about to flip that. But it's hard to do analysis on. Yeah.
It's Pump versus Bonk lately with the shitcoiners, and they kind of switch teams every week.
Well, if this thing did go up to all-time highs again, that's a 100% move, which isn't like insane for a giga shitcoin, but it's pretty standard. So if you think that this thing will go all the way back up to all-time highs, like, you know, you could hedge your bets. But personally, I'm not messing with it.
Yeah, there's too many places to put your money. I probably wouldn't mess with
I also
that.
don't believe in Pump.FUN. Like I feel like they're like the leading hostile acting problem in crypto. So out of principle. And then
if you're gonna lock somebody up, it's those guys.
One coin someone in the comments last week wanted me to look at, if whoever you are, Mr. Guy, if you're out there, Hype. He wants me to look at Hype. So Hype seems to be taking some levels out already. See these levels that Hype might be targeting. So I mean, I'm looking at all of these as potential. Once Bitcoin starts looking tired, this actually might be an insane one to short, because if there's a 10-minute Heikin-Ashi from this level, that's a 13% move. If it comes up here and sweeps this high, 15% move. And if it takes the all-time high, that's another big move. So maybe there's a short trade on Hype cooking. I see the 4-hour waves looking a little tired. But
check your week.
a big blob of money flow just died out on the daily, but it does look like there's like that last spike, that geo spike wave left. So the odds.
I know you don't have markets. Okay, I know you don't have Market Cipher A open on here, but you have a blue triangle, green dot right where you are, and then your weekly and your August 1st VWAPs are way under you. They're at like $40.06 right now.
What time frame? Sorry, I just pulled up Market Cipher A.
Sorry, on the daily.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we just got the FOMO green dot, so usually this is a time where it's like, it's good for the overall trend. We have indeed flipped the EMA ribbon from gray to blue, so like the trend is alive again. That's a good sign for Hyperliquid. So after a little minor pullback, then you want to hop in on this, and that's like, look, see, like you get this green dot here, and there's like probably just a minor pullback in that candle before it just continued up. So typically on a macro scale like the daily, not all the time, but a green dot is like a good sign. It's a sign of the trend getting repaired on a macro scale. So we're getting that now. Just know that we may need to, there may be like a bearish weekly leap, and there might be some good long entries once these like 30-minute market cipher waves cool off, right? Like if you could get an entry below the EMA ribbon on the 30-minute, knowing that it's getting bullish on the daily, that's going to work out a lot better for you than just FOMOing in right now. So that's
Yeah, I
my
would
take on
set an
that.
alert for like $40.40 ish, kind of in the middle of this, and that's where I'd be looking for a long entry.
I
Not
agree,
right
man.
now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So we pull up Leapfrog, and it's actually got a bearish daily leap, which would be like your 2-to-1 short risk reward kind of territory there. But if that continues, then you could actually continue all the way down to that previous week to date, and you get that weekly bearish leapfrog. And then that potentially would be a bottom found later on in the week. So
Right.
personally, it's a FOMO-y kind of time to like it's called hype. So just give it a take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly. I have trouble trading some of these. I wait for a little cool off there and then jump in if I were to. What was our next victim here? We had H bar, near Chainlink. Chainlink's been doing great. I feel sorry for selling that stuff off when I had to, but I'm glad Chainlink's getting some love lately.
Yeah, Chainlink's doing absolutely fantastic. I love this price action. Out of all the altcoins, look, I was analyzing it earlier. Look,
My
you can
word,
see
look
I
at that.
tried. Look, I tried. I thought it was gonna go higher, and I got shit on. So maybe I was just one move early. But this is why it's like you want to be hopeful, but you never know, man. You never know. So you gotta fucking have some risk management. That's what
I like
happens
how
when you
you.
try to make people happy. Look, it's the move. The move was right. I was just
I
way
know
too
you were
early.
right.
Yeah, I'm like, this is what's gonna happen, but look, the timing was way wrong. So yeah, man. I'm only
Oh,
stupid
look
because
at Fitz.
I'm the right guy at the wrong time. That's my problem.
Right. She marries the guy after you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Or you find her after she's already been ruined by the world, and now you got to pick up the
Okay.
pieces.
Are there any entries for Chainlink that you would recommend looking at this chart?
Yes. Right now. Just get in it right now. Just
Get
fucking
in.
ape in
Sell
right
your
now.
car.
Chainlink is the future. No, I mean, if it had a bearish weekly leap, I would just hope that it had a nice pullback here. I mean, this looks so hypey, and even though I'm very impressed by this price action, I would expect this to like take the highs one more time and then just start like nuking down back to the ascending 5MA in a risky counter trend, a counter uptrend move that fucks people up because it's coming out of the weekend. It's a fake pumpy, dumpy kind of weekend transition. So it might have a sharp pullback soon, but it does seem like it's like in this nice strong 5-day uptrend.
Okay, so if you measure the beginning of that move to the top of the fib, where's that start there? I'd look for like about a halfway retracement, which lines up about with your previous weekly VWAP. So like about $20, I'd be more interested.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be more interested around there. $20, $19.50, something like that.
Definitely.
Okay, and then
Man.
we had AVAX Classic, king of the gaming tokens. Is that what they're doing still? I used to have a bunch of AVAX.
Man, I don't know much about AVAX and like everything they're doing, but I know that the charts looking good here. Like we are like again, we're in a 5-day MA. We just got a FOMO green dot, so I say it takes the highs. It takes the highs one more time, and then has a little bit of a correction, but overall, it's working its way up, all the way up potentially to the previous year's year to date, which is uncharted territory. When I look at AVAX on like the daily, get rid of all these drawings, get rid of market cipher A. It's got a lot of chopping up to do before it gets up to even a point where you would consider it overhyped. Like it's good value right now, 25% away from last year's VWAP. So it's still quite bottomed out here. It's been a little bit of a laggard in relation to its VWAPs, but if you believe in the project, it's still like not too late to get in. But as a trader, trading it short term, I'd probably just target some local levels here and wait for a 10-minute Heikin Ashi. probably trade it back to previous week to date territory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now look at that chart. Good lord, going all the way back.
You know, the
You have
slope of the 5MA is really important with these charts. Like, just be very careful and keep your size small. Keep your risk small if you're shorting in this environment. Because yes, the previous week's VWAP is below, but these coins may be in a like measured move, targeting much higher levels than we anticipate. So it's not a week that I'm like hitting anything super hard. It's just another week in crypto, and yeah, man, like I got my system. I'm looking for some stops to get hit, make some short-term profits, but that's pretty much where I'm at, man. Like I don't want to shake anyone's conviction, because I do believe that there is a chance that ETH explodes. You know, Bitcoin could go higher. Things definitely could go higher. I'm kind of just operating on this week-to-week basis when it comes to my trade ideas. So
Yeah, that's a good idea. Any further than that, then you're just kind of speculating. No matter who you are, you're always going to be kind of wrong. Like people would ask for price predictions. You know, what's it going to be in 6 months? And I'm like, I can vaguely tell you, but no one really knows. So I just trade what's right in front of me.
mm-hmm.
I think we already did ADA, but we can do. Did I miss one in this chat?
Everybody, check out Bitcoin chopping up. Did it just chop higher? Oh, it's still sideways actually. I thought this chopped even higher, but
shit myself, man. You freaked me out. Okay.
Sorry, man. I'm still looking for. I mean, this is like interesting territory for Bitcoin. Like, I definitely want this level, this high, to get taken, and I would love to see just a big wick up just to screw these people over, man. Before I jump into a short, if I see a 10-minute red hike on a sheet before I see that, I won't feel as good about it, man. It'll make me like.
I can open a short right now to guarantee it hits 125.
All right, yeah, go ahead and do that, and
okay, I'll do it for the team, for
okay.
You people.
Perfect. All right, so my brother, crypto guy on the internet, is shorting, and that should push the price to a new all-time high, guys. So
yes, and my ETH short at 41 has been serving the market well. What are we at now? 43. I'm fucking myself for you.
Wait,
people.
what'd you do? You shorted? What'd you do?
Okay,
bro?
so if you look at Ethereum's chart, 41 was the range high that we kept getting rejected from. So I'm like, I'm gonna put a short here. Nothing crazy, but that should guarantee that we go all the way up to the 4,800.
Oh, come on. Now look what's happening here on ETH, guys. Look. So we did get. Look, so my strategy technically happened here. Like, look, we swept the high, and then we got that 10-minute hike in a sheet. So you would have like entered this trade if you didn't kind of like have the intuition or like it's a more nuanced game than that. Like, I try my best to make a system that is as mechanical as possible. But I told you guys earlier in the stream, I'm not really taking this trade. I'm looking for the sweep of the all-time high. Like, this thing could just shoot up, like boom, like 5K, and then the first gigantic high volatility red 10-minute hike in a sheet you see, then it dumps down to the previous week to date. So, you know, you always want to look at the levels and think, what's the most advantageous level that I could long or short from, and just be as picky as possible, man. Like, don't feel bad about potentially missing a move, because patience pays. And that's
you see those peaks right there at 41ish. Yeah, the sweep in those peaks going across the middle there. You have 2-3 of them, right? Yeah, so there's your all time. That's the target right now, the 4,800. But right around there, yeah, the 4,100 we've had a couple times right there. So like, either we reject here and this is the best short of all time, or I get fucked but save the market. So I have a stink bid short at 41 that hit on my limit order, and now it's just underwater. But it's all right, because I'm trying to use my curse for the betterment of mankind. This is good. Yes, I'm looking for it to hit 48.
You're
and
then
we'll add
the
to
people.
That short.
He's a man of the people.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm adding to the short at 48, so we can go to 6,000.
Awesome, man. Yeah, there was someone else in like the VIP who had a similar, and I was not being cruel. I was being constructive, because, but let's see, it was, oh yeah, see, look, this guy opened a short on ETH earlier today, and he said having a small stab. Look, he was thinking, oh, we're so far from the weekly VWAP, you know, that maybe this is it. And he's taking the trade like Sunday morning.
Oh yeah, he's trying to. That's too early.
Yeah,
Little
and
early.
so this is a learning lesson. I didn't give him a thumbs up. I didn't agree with shit. I said you're taking the trade a day or two early without much candle confirmation. Your stop loss is my entry when the new weekly candle begins. So
Maybe he's low leverage. Like if he's the
yeah, he
3x or
could be.
something, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you learn every trade you take, you get smarter. And I don't want to be
Yeah.
I'm not being cruel, but I have a right to say why are you doing that? You know, like I'm your guys' mentor in
Take it
here.
easy, son.
If you guys have questions, I'm here to give you my feedback, whether it's positive or, you know, constructive. So if you get in the VIP, then like that's what you have to look forward to is like I will ask you why you're doing the things you're doing, you know? So and again, like you just want to wait for the new week and just be patient for those trades, man. But man, that's pretty much my spiel for this Sunday. In the VIP, hopefully we get some nice trades that I can give you guys in the next 12 to 48 hours. So in closing, brethren, what are like the important things to look out for this week? And just say a little closing statement.
Of course. I'd be paying close attention to the inflation data this week, Tuesday and Thursday. So you don't want to go too hog wild because those are 2 days that could take you by surprise. But other than that, we're just trading this day by day. And after you get your weekly retests, I'd be looking for more upside overall. And then if you want to catch me, I generally do one video a month, like the start of the month, using a lot of the anchored VWAPs and stuff. So if you want to see me more often, like I'll pop in on Instagram and just do like a 1 minute video of something interesting I'm seeing in the charts. And that's where you'll find me more is Instagram, or you can just add me here on YouTube. But I only pop in about once a month for 1 10-minute video, like here's what you got to know kind of thing. So, but thank you for having me. This was fun. I'll do this anytime you want.
Sounds good, man. So if any of you guys, my regulars, want to join this stream next week, let me know. And go ahead and follow Crypto Guy OTI on Twitter, and I have his link to his YouTube down below this on the stream. So go ahead and support him and give the stream a like.
Instagram though, for sure. Like, yeah, Twitter's a shit show. Like, if you're on Instagram, Crypto Guy OTI is my name on there. I'm on there every day with stuff. So that's where you'll catch me. And you can DM me, ask you any questions, I'll answer. I know CF is busy, but I'm not. So
Yeah,
if
we're
you have a
not.
question,
Yeah.
yeah, you can message me anytime. I'm just sitting here.
We're like, please talk to us, please. We're
Yeah,
we're the
know.
other guys.
Now, when I got 50,000 subs, don't talk to me. I'm a big shot. But for now, no one knows about me. So be my friend, please.
Yeah. Yeah, we need new day ones to turn our backs on when we make it in this game. You know what I'm
I know.
Hell yeah, man. All right. Much love, brethren. And much love to you guys in the stream. If you want to check out any of the things that I talk about, any of the exchanges I trade on, go to empoweredtraders.com. And I'm going to be pumping this with how-to videos. Like every exchange that I trade on, I'll have a tutorial. I already have a lot of Market Cipher and Leapfrog and Breakout videos. So I'm going to pump this site with all those free videos. But if you're savvy enough, you can just scroll through my YouTube channel and find all these videos for free. So none of my videos that are educational are behind a paywall. If you get Leapfrog, though, you get that Discord, you get trade setups, and you get my mentorship. And Crypto OTI is in that Discord as well. So also, if you want to buy Market Cipher, you could use code FG 20%. If you want to get funded on Breakout, get up to 200K funded crypto trading, you can use this code for 2% right here.
Oh.
And these are the exchanges that I partner with here. We got non-KYC and KYC. And if you sign up to any of these things, whether it's an exchange or a Discord or whatever, reach out to me, like DM me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll set up a little like 30-minute consultation with this so you're not flopping and groping with. I'm not just going to throw you to the wolves without giving you a little rundown if you need it, man. So we're here to help. Market Cipher for the win. God bless you guys, and you guys have a good one.